haven't gone your way today. Maybe he can give himself and his fans something to shout about this game here. Of course, we'll keep a close eye as well. I'm sure our production team will on the other game that is going on, but this is the one we have on screen at the moment. And this Rentao with the ball, Harry.
Yeah, he's in the all-white strip here of AC Milan. Djellali is comfortably in the grand final later on. As for Rentao, he's playing for pride at this point, wants to prove to the world that he can make it back there. He can make it back to the World Finals. It's been a long time since July 2024 in Ginza, the creative centre, home of Konami, home of eFootball, that he lifted that trophy. What came with it was the fame, the fortune, the award shows that Rentao was honoured with. And well, he wants to get on the board here. In the first 15 minutes, it will come off him last. So sadly, no second chance, but it will feel like a lifetime ago that he was experiencing the glitz and the glamour that came with the world title. Last year, we saw him at the Manchester United club event, and well, he was out in the group stages there. That was in April of this year. He's been very, very difficult to keep tabs on, Rentao. As we said, he's had a bit of a slow year, but we can see the other match going on at this moment in time as Sakti versus Lobobo. And it's the young Spaniard here, Wes, that strikes first blood.
That's a huge goal for Lobobo.
And elsewhere in our featured match, we have the man who those two are fighting to get the chance to rematch against, who has a really strong chance.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's certainly asking a lot of the questions of Rentao's defence at the moment. As it stands, which is a phrase I love when it comes to esports, because so many things can change. And as it stands, it'll be Djellali versus Lobobo, friends reunited in the mobile final.
Djellali's corner denied. It'll be another Moroccan mobile player in another club event finals. We've seen that story play out time and time again in the past. Luka Modric here for Rentao. Of course, this is the first club event finals of the season. No doubt we'll be seeing more of Rentao, and I hope so. Salimakers for him. Stood up towards... Well, it's Christian Pulisic. I was going to say Salamakers, but he left it for the man who eventually scores the goal. Rentao on the board.
I think that caught Djellali out as well. See it back on the replay again. Like you said, it looked like it was heading the way of Salamakers. Instead, dropped to the feet of Christian Pulisic. And again, the composure of Rentao to, again, readjust, find your surroundings, understand where you are in that game. Again, took his time to put the ball in, floated over the head, instead came to Pulisic, has that open opportunity, has that open shot. From that type of distance, he's not going to miss from there, Harry.
No, he's not. Nothing Djellali could do about that. Tried to pressure. Tried to get a tackle in, but by the time he realised what was happening, Pulisic put the ball in the back of the net. Rentao on the board. Surely will be a defining season for him. Wants to go back-to-back as eFootball Mobile Championship World Champion. Obviously a year between his two titles, so not technically back-to-back, but definitely would be the first two-time champion, and he's through here again, and that is a neat finish. It's a 1-2 punch. Rentao 2, Djellali 0.
I think Rentao will be asking himself, as well as his fans will be asking, where has this version of Rentao been? He had a wonderful bit of play. He's got himself a 2-0 lead here. Of course, Jalali can't be caught. And of course, because the two players that are sandwiched in between Rentauer and Jalali are both playing against one another, doesn't matter how it finishes, because he won't be able to unseat them both.
Well, there has been action in the other game. Lebobo 1-0, now Lebobo 2-0 over Sakti. So, while we look here at Jalali's goal, perfectly timed by our production team here. In our other game, it's Youth beating Experience 2-0, whereas Jalali here has one back.
I love our production team's timing because it's absolutely phenomenal. No sooner do we tell you about a goal in the other game, we cut back to our feature game and we see the remnants of good pressure from Jalali and a neatly headed finish into the back of the net. You got 2 goals for the price of 1 there, folks.
It is excellent play all round here to kick off our 2026 World Championship season. The eFootball Championship 2026 AC Milan group stages are 45 minutes away from being in the books and finding our grand finalists and then our eventual champions across both mobile and console. It's so exciting. It's an exciting time in the season, Wes, because...
Ó que tá chegando.
Boa! Oh, mas peraí.
É de loja oficial? Vendedor e produto verificado? Temos.
We still will have our first 2 players booking their spots at the World Championships in the summer.
Yeah, there's a lot of credence and a lot of kind of almost pageantry that goes with it. Say, do you know what? I'm the first player to get there. I'm the first player. It doesn't matter where in the world it's going to be, but I know that I'm going. And there is a kind of a prestige that goes with it. And certainly to represent Rossinieri. I mean, you know, looking at the players that they have at their disposal, of course, not to mention if there's any signings during the real world season that could impact squads going further forward. There's so many different kind of almost wrinkles and, you know, the butterfly effect of what could happen. But at the moment, we are pretty set on what we think is going to happen, because with Lebobo 2-0 up in the other game, we know who Jalali will be facing.
Indeed we do. Rentau in possession here as he kicks off the second half. He leads Jalali 2-1. Jalali, chasing this game, would not like to enter that final later on with a dip in form. And Kunku shields the ball nicely. Here he is again, near side. Nice little super cancel there as well. Saelemaekers. No tackle coming in yet from Rentau. Wins that header though. And finally a chance to relieve some of the pressure. Play out from the back here on the hour mark.
Yeah, again, just turn the kind of pressure gauge off as managed to get a decent chest there, rolls it to Jimenez.
Oh, Jimenez finishes! Rentau reinstating his 2-goal cushion. It is now Rentau 3, Jalali 1, and there might just be a dip in form. Look at this, the vision to play that pass through. It's glimpses of the old Rentau we saw in Ginza back in, well, it was July 2024. It was a long, long time ago. As we enter the final stages of our mainstream match, we can see there has been a goal back for Sakti. So there's intrigue entering the last 12 in-game minutes there, Wes. Could be a nervy few minutes for the young Spaniard.
Just a few minutes to say the very least, Harry. You're quite right. I mean, again, Sakti doing a really good job of getting himself back into that game. Talking a bit about now what can be executed in these final moments of this group stage in both games. Because again, for Jalali, again, it's a case of trying to refine that form, trying to refine that fire. yes, the pressure is off you. You still need to perform. You still need to have that momentum going into that final, be it against Lobobo, being it against Sakti. Still don't quite know who that's going to be. With that goal from Sakti, though, it's put the proverbial cat amongst the pigeons, Harry.
Well, it has indeed. Just looking across our previous Milanese representatives across the club events in 2025, of course, Eterito won the console side, and Huda was the representative, the Indonesian, if memory serves, and my information is correct. So Sakti, as things stand, looks to be denying himself the opportunity, as it were, to follow in his countrymen's footsteps and make it back-to-back Indonesians representing the red side of Milan.
Yeah, and of course, as we mentioned, that prestige that goes with it. You're the first, but you're following, especially from Sakti's point of view, if your information is correct, which I never doubt for a second, Harry, but if your information is correct, again, following in footsteps of countrymen, following in footsteps of, you know, certainly players from Southeast Asia, being that, as we said, that hotbed of e-football players, both on console and on mobile. There's quite a few, you know, world championships between that, between those nations in that neck of the woods, and they certainly would love another one.
Well, following the goal, it will be Djelali here on the kickoff.
Coming on the field, number 14,
Rentao 3, Djelali 1. The
number 11,
former world champion Rentao just heating up at the wrong moments here in the group stages. It's a long season, though. I have no doubt we will see Rentao back at this level, and no doubt featuring and fighting for his second world title. Considering how young eFootball Mobile is as an esport, you'd imagine the first to secure multiple world titles would be considered one of the best of all time. And Rentao here, well, this is really nice build-up as Leao is through, and Leao makes it 4. It's almost as if Rentao heard the words best of all time, and right on cue, scores his 4th.
Yeah, I mean, it's a statement victory at the end of what, from his standards, will be a disappointing group stage. But he can go away with that to go, do you know what? At least I've shown what I can do. And I think that's the key bit, is knowing what he can do and being able to execute. You know, the phrase I always use is when it matters. At this point in time, it doesn't really matter for him because he's already mathematically out. But for future qualifications, for future performances, it's going to do him the power of good to know that he can execute.
Well, that's for Djelali. He'll be entering the mobile final later on with a heavy defeat fresh in the memory, which could lead to some interesting implications. Nkunku over the top, trying to claw away at that heavy deficit against him at this moment in time. 5 minutes to go. Modric to the feet of Rabiot. Pulisic has broken the lines here, but that is Maignan down smartly. The Milan captain called into action. I'll tell you who will be watching this with intrigue, whereas it will be Sakti and Lobobo. Whomever comes out on top in that other match will know that they have a fighting chance. Really nice run of Rabiot here. His touch lets him down at the vital moment.
It does, but again, the game in truth is pretty much done and dusted. Outside of maybe an additional consolation from Djelali.
May well be, as Pulisic tries to run down the channel there, but you can see it's just ticked over to the 93rd minute. And I don't think the referee will entertain many more chances. It will end Rentao 4, Djelali 1. And despite him being eliminated, Rentao goes out swinging, proving to the world that he still has what it takes to
And we come
take
to you
down
now with a quick request for
some of the
support
heavy
for our
hitters
World
at
Charity
this stage of the
Fund.
competition. Just got going a little bit too late on in the grand scheme of the AC Milan group stages, though, and we will say